Ladies and gentlemen, pain is the great equalizer. It doesn't care who you are, how much money you have, or how much talent you were born with. It visits everyone. But here's the truth. Pain is not your punishment. It's your preparation. It's the fire that forges warriors, the storm that shapes survivors, and the struggle that builds champions. The same pain that once made you cry will one day become the reason you rise. Because through pain comes power. Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us has felt the sting of pain. That moment when your heart feels heavy, your spirit feels crushed, and it seems like the world is pressing down on your chest. But here's what most people never understand. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is the great sculptor of your soul. It shapes, refines, and strengthens you into someone you never thought you could become. The purpose of pain is not to punish you, it's to prepare you for what's next. When life hurts, it's not a sign that you're losing, it's a sign that you're growing. The very things that stretch you are the things that strengthen you. You don't build muscle without resistance. You don't develop strength without struggle. And just like a seed must crack open in the dark before it can rise into the light, you too must go through your breaking point before you can reach your breakthrough. Pain doesn't come to stop you, it comes to stretch you. It expands your capacity to handle life, to handle pressure, to handle success. Because the truth is, if success came before the struggle, you wouldn't have the strength to sustain it. The pain you endure today is the price you pay for the power you'll need tomorrow. So when it hurts, don't curse it. Embrace it. Don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because pain doesn't waste time. It teaches lessons that comfort never could. Think about it. The strongest people you know didn't become that way because life was easy for them. They became that way because life challenged them. Because every disappointment, every betrayal, every loss carved wisdom into their soul. The purpose of pain is to strip away the illusions, the fear, the ego, the doubt, and reveal who you really are underneath it all. Pain introduces you to your power. It introduces you to the parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. It shows you that you can endure, that you can rise, that you can still move forward even when your heart is bleeding. That's the beauty of pain. It wakes up your potential. It reminds you that you're stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you imagine. You see, life's greatest transformations don't happen in comfort zones. They happen in crucibles. The fire of adversity refines your character. It burns away the weakness and reveals the warrior within. So the next time pain knocks at your door, don't hide from it. Open the door and say, come in, teach me, shape me, prepare me. Because one day you'll look back and realize that the thing you thought would break you actually built you. Now, let's talk about turning struggles into strength. Because pain by itself doesn't guarantee growth. It's what you do with that pain that matters. You can let it crush you, or you can let it create you. You can sit in the ashes of what happened, or you can rise from them and say, I'm not done yet. Every struggle carries a seed of strength within it, but it's only revealed when you choose to keep going. Struggles are not signs of weakness. They're signs of progress. Every time you face something difficult, you're being stretched beyond your limits. And that's where real power is born. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. Champions are made in pain. And so are you. When you struggle, you're not losing, you're learning. You're building endurance. You're developing resilience. You're preparing for levels of success that demand a tougher version of you. Every setback you've ever faced was a setup for your strength. Every time someone doubted you, every time you failed, every time you fell, you were collecting experience, collecting wisdom, collecting the tools you'd need for your comeback. Don't let your struggles make you bitter. Let them make you better. Because the same struggle that breaks one person can build another. The difference lies in how you respond. You've got to stop seeing your struggle as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every door that slammed shut, it was preparing you for something greater. The struggle gave you perspective. It taught you humility. It built your hunger. And when you finally rise, you'll realize that you didn't just survive the storm. The storm taught you how to soar above it. So don't curse your struggles. Don't run from them. Embrace them. Because through every struggle, you're gaining strength. Through every obstacle, you're building courage. Through every trial, you're becoming unstoppable. Remember, pain plants the seed, but struggle grows the strength. And when the world sees you standing tall after everything you've been through, they'll finally understand it was never the success that made you powerful. It was the pain. Ladies and gentlemen, when life knocks you down, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, you have two choices: stay down or rise again. And let me tell you something powerful. Rising again is not just about standing up. It's about standing different. It's about standing wiser, stronger, and hungrier than before. You see, real power doesn't come from what you've achieved. It comes from what you've overcome. Every single time life threw you to the ground, you weren't being buried, you were being planted. It's easy to smile when things are good. It's easy to be motivated when life is working in your favor. But your true character is revealed in those moments when everything seems lost, when the lights go out, when your heart is broken, when your dream feels like it's slipping through your fingers. That's when life asks you the question, do you still believe? Because belief in the middle of brokenness, that's where champions are born. When you rise after a fall, you don't just get up. You rise with knowledge. You rise with experience. You rise with scars that speak louder than any success ever could. Those scars are proof that you survived, that you refused to quit, that even when life tried to silence you, you found a way to speak again. You've got to look at every fall not as a failure, but as a foundation. Every time you hit rock bottom, remember, rock bottom is still solid ground. Build on it. Stand on it, rise from it. You see, most people let pain define them, but the great ones, they let it refine them. When you rise after the storm, you rise with authority. You rise with wisdom. You rise with gratitude, because now you understand that the pain wasn't there to destroy you. It was there to prepare you. You can't be trusted with power until you've been tested with pain. You can't lead others until you've learned to lead yourself through your own dark nights. And when you rise, you become a living testimony that it's possible. You become a light for others still lost in their storm. People see you and realize, if they can rise after all that, maybe I can too. That's your responsibility, to use your pain as proof, your struggle as strength, your comeback as a message that no defeat is final unless you choose to make it so. Now, let's talk about something crucial. Never waste your pain. The greatest tragedy isn't going through pain, it's going through pain and learning nothing from it. Pain is a gift when you use it right. It's the raw material for greatness. It's the whisper from the universe saying, there's more in you. But too many people suffer and then stop there. They build a home in their hurt instead of using it as a bridge to their purpose. Pain is only powerful when it's transformed. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control what you create from it. Some of the world's greatest ideas, movements, and breakthroughs were born out of pain. Somebody got tired of being broken. Somebody decided that their suffering would not be in vain. Somebody said, this ends with me. That's how change begins. When you refuse to let your pain be pointless, use your pain to build something. Use it to inspire others. Use it to fuel your purpose. Don't hide your scars. Show them, because they're not signs of shame, they're signs of survival. Every scar tells a story. And your story might just save someone else's life. There's power in your testimony, but you've got to be willing to share it. You've got to be willing to turn that wound into wisdom. When you've been through pain, you walk differently. You speak differently. You live differently. Because you know how fragile life is. You don't take moments for granted anymore. You don't waste energy on negativity. You don't fear failure because you've already faced worse. Pain teaches perspective. It reveals what truly matters. And when you finally make it, when the world sees your strength, they won't see the nights you cried, the doubts you battled, the moments you almost quit. But you'll know. You'll know that it wasn't luck. It was the pain you turned into purpose. It was the struggle you turned into strength. It was the storm you learned to dance in. So don't run from pain, rise through it. Don't waste it, use it. Because through pain comes clarity. Through pain comes resilience. Through pain comes purpose. And if you dare to rise with that mindset, nothing, no failure, no heartbreak, no loss can keep you from your destiny. You are not a victim of what happened to you. You are a product of what you've chosen to become through it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where your true power lies. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life when they must look in the mirror and decide, am I going to keep living in this pain, or am I going to grow through it? Because pain doesn't come to stop you, it comes to shape you. It's not punishment, it's preparation. And once you understand that, you stop asking, why me? And you start declaring, try me. Every storm you've survived, every tear you've cried, every disappointment that broke your heart, none of it was wasted. Life was building something inside you that couldn't be built any other way. You can't grow strength in comfort. You can't develop faith in the sunshine. It's in the dark, it's in the struggle. It's in the silence where you discover what you're really made of. Growth hurts because it stretches you beyond who you were yesterday. It forces you to let go of the old version of yourself so that the new one can rise. When you go through pain and refuse to grow, you waste the lesson. But when you decide to learn from it, when you decide to become from it, that's when pain becomes progress. Growth means looking at the wound and saying, this may have hurt me, but it won't define me. It means understanding that the people who left you, the doors that closed, the opportunities that fell apart, they weren't there to destroy you. They were there to redirect you towards something greater. You have to trust the process, even when you don't understand it. Growth doesn't announce itself. It's silent. It happens when you keep pushing forward, when you wake up and decide, I'm going to try again. You might not see it day by day, but you're growing stronger every time you refuse to quit. And let me tell you this, when the breakthrough comes, you'll look back and realize that the pain that once felt unbearable was the very thing that prepared you for your purpose. Stop waiting for life to get easier. Learn to get stronger, because if life never challenged you, it would never change you. And if you never changed, you'd never discover who you were meant to be. So grow through it. Let the pain teach you, not defeat you. Let it mold you, not break you. Every seed must go through dirt before it blooms. And you're no different. Now, once you've grown through the pain, once you've survived the storm, once you've rebuilt yourself stronger, there's one more step. You've got to rise and give back, because true power isn't just in what you overcome, it's in what you help others overcome. You didn't go through the fire just for yourself. You went through it so you could lead others out of theirs. Your story, your scars, your strength, they're not just for your healing, they're for someone else's hope. When you stand on the other side of pain, you have a responsibility. There are people out there still struggling, still hurting, still trying to find a reason to keep going. And when they hear your story, when they see that you made it out, they'll believe that they can too. That's how impact is created. You become a voice for the voiceless, a light for the lost, a living example of what's possible when you don't give up. Too many people want to inspire others without being willing to go through anything. But inspiration doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the climb. It comes from walking through hell and still finding the strength to speak about heaven. It comes from looking at someone else's pain and saying, I've been there. I know how that feels, but let me show you can rise too. There is power in your comeback, but there is purpose in your compassion. When you reach out and help someone else, you not only multiply your strength, you heal a part of yourself too. Because healing isn't just about moving forward. It's about pulling others with you. Every time you encourage someone, every time you share your lesson, every time you lift another soul, you're reminding yourself of how far you've come. So, don't keep your story locked away. Don't hide your pain as if it's something to be ashamed of. Turn it into purpose. Use it to serve. Use it to build. Use it to bless. Because the pain you've conquered becomes the wisdom you share. And that wisdom has the power to transform lives. You didn't survive just to survive. You survived to lead, to teach, to shine. There's someone out there waiting for your story to give them permission to believe in themselves again. You are living proof that through pain comes power. Through struggle comes strength, and through brokenness comes brilliance. So rise up, share your fire, and let your life become the message that someone else's miracle is still possible. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look back on your journey, the pain, the failures, the heartbreaks, the lonely nights, and the silent battles, I want you to understand something deep. None of it was wasted. Every scar has a story. Every tear had a purpose, and every struggle was preparing you for the person you were destined to become. Life was never trying to break you. It was trying to build you. You just couldn't see it then. You see, power doesn't come from comfort. It comes from endurance. It comes from those moments when you had every reason to quit, but chose to stand tall anyway. It comes from the nights you cried and still showed up the next day. It comes from the days you doubted yourself, but decided to keep moving forward. That's where true greatness is born. The truth is, pain will visit all of us. But it's not what happens to you that defines you. It's what you do with it. You can let it crush you, or you can let it craft you. You can let it paralyze you, or you can let it propel you. You can let it turn your heart cold, or you can let it light a fire inside you that no storm can ever put out. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and far more capable than you believe. Don't let your past pain become your prison. Let it become your power. Let it fuel your growth, sharpen your focus, and expand your heart. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the very thing that once broke you was the thing that built you. So stand up, my friend. Lift your head, take a deep breath, and tell life, I'm ready for whatever comes next. You faced the pain. You've endured the process. Now it's time to walk in your power. Through pain comes strength. Through struggle comes purpose. Through you comes transformation. Never forget, your pain was the training ground for your greatness. Now go out there and live like it.